Alright, what's up everybody? Keith here again. I got some guys from the group in here. We're gonna go over some coins, see some charts, look and see what we think about what we think and whether or not we're gonna make some gains. The market's a little shaky at the moment. It's up and it's down and it's up. But I think it's all just part of it. I think for the most part, it's gonna have to be ridden out. Everything looks okay to me. It's just in a correction phase. The things are way up. However, there's some still some coins that are way down. And forgive my voice. My voice is still jacked up a little bit. I'm getting better though. I got all kind of medicine in me. We're gonna see what happens. You don't normally take NyQuil at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So I got Ethereum pulled up here because Dre and the group was wanting to talk about it. But I'm gonna talk about the four horseman coins that I call them first, which is XRP, XLM, ADA, which is Cardano, and VET, which is VeChain. Okay, those are four that I hold. Those are four with great use cases, in my opinion. And I keep those, keep them held, don't let them go. I've sold here and there, I've bought here and there, but I continue to add. Every week I add a little more. I have a regular job like everybody else. Can't just constantly buy. Until I can, it's going to be like this. So I think we'll start with XRP, just because, right? All right, as you see, we're in between resistance lines. I teach classes. In the classes, we teach that we draw resistance lines first. Our second indicator is our moving averages. Man, our moving averages are way the hell down here, all the way at the bottom of the bands, which is a little spooky, right? That's from the top here down to the 200 is a solid 25%. That would suck if it decided to dump on us. I don't think that's going to happen. So the difference in what I see now from what I've seen in February is that we didn't take those sharp drops. We had some drops in here, but we pulled up. And it didn't just continue to plunge kind of like it did in February. It was much, much harder rejection in February. Plus, it didn't break the trend line in February. There was hope that this thing would curl up and get moving again. Never happened. It just kept going resistance line to resistance line to resistance line and failing. Well, we've lost one resistance line here, but we've only lost one. And we're still over the trend line. Secondly, on the big monthly, weekly Fibonacci set here, from this point all the way to the bottom, down here, all the way down here, and then back up, we're looking at a test of the 786 line. In more classes, we teach that a 786 breakout is usually a sign of reversal. Not every time. It's more of a very good estimate. I would put about 70% of the time when we see these coins, any coin, or any chart for that matter, go past the 786, typically we see reversal of the chart in that direction. Okay, we broke north, which is great. I'm texting guys from the group too. Hold on. We're live now. All right, so again, bouncing off this 786 right here is not a bad sign in my opinion. I kind of think that's a good thing. We've talked about it before in other videos, but when we see charts move aggressively, they tend to come back down just as aggressively. Now the good news here is that didn't happen. We came up aggressively and we've slowly pulled down, which is typically a sign of standard market correction. It just needs to have a little bit of time to catch its breath, okay? None of these coins are thoroughbreds. They all have to catch their breath. I don't care if you look at them and you say, oh my God, these things are jumping out of the park. That may be true, but I promise you it's going to come back down. I promise you. We don't want that to happen, so there's nothing we can do about it if it does. We just have to be prepared to pull that sell button. So, again, we hit the 786. Looks like we tested it just about 3 times, and then the 21 EMA caught us also. Now we're under the 8. I don't like that. I want us to get back over this 8. Typically, going under the 8 is the first sell signal. I told you in another class that when it's under the 8, but it's over the 21 EMA, which is this purple line, dog jumping up in my lap here. That's also the midline of the Bollinger Bands. Well, it's really close to the midline. It can also act as support sometimes, and I call this zone that's in between the 8 EMA and the 21 EMA the wait a minute zone. I call it that because you don't need to do anything right yet. In my opinion, you need to just chill. Wait a minute. There's a chance this thing can pop back up over. There's a chance it can go under. But when we're in this little zone right here, and there's a nice gap between the 8 EMA, which is the neon green line right there, and the purple line, the 21 EMA, when there's a gap, you know what? It kind of gravitates toward that gap. We're in there now. Just give it a little bit. Let it do its thing. You can look back in history and see that sometimes it does this. It dips below and catches support and goes. We're in the middle of a upward reversal here, which is awesome. I think we should let it play out for a little bit. It's trying to battle right now. It hasn't broken it. Also, you can see this blue line I drew right here. It's a short-term trend line. We've wicked over it, but we didn't hold. It pulled right back down, and in fact, completely reversed down to the resistance down here. I like to draw these short-term trend lines in here to monitor the chart. We could see this thing ride on out for several more days. It could just sit here and fiddle around and fiddle around and fiddle around, all the way down here to R1 again. And I can't stop it from doing that. All right, there's a possibility that happens. There's also a possibility that this thing curls right on up and busts through. Can't control it, so I'm going to let it play out. Okay, you could even draw another pennant in here if you so choose. That kind of looks like so. Okay. Now, we see the bands are wide. Typically an opportunity for this thing to run up here to the top of this band, or to come down here to the bottom of this band where these moving averages are sitting for good support. When they get tight, we see good movement. They're not tight yet. This also lends me to believe that it's going to jog sideways or move up a little. Not quickly, I don't think. We'll see. I could be wrong. The next thing that kind of gives me pause is the MACD. As you see here, this is a sign to sell. I sold some right here. When this thing peaked up, I sold. Why did I do that? Because I saw this thing crossing down and it still peaked up. That was Wick City to me. That was it testing to see if it could get up. It didn't make it. And as a matter of fact, if you pull the fib set from here to the bottom, this thing did a 50% and dumped down like on the 1 hour or the 2 hour. You can check it and see yourself. I'm not going to do that right now, but we saw it before. I see a downward cross right here. This tells me don't buy. It also tells me not to short. Okay, it just tells me not to buy right now. Just don't buy right now. Give it a day or 3, in which you're going to lose a couple percent, but you're making sure that you're not going to have farther losses. You may lose 1 or 2 or 3%. We can even measure here. Let's say it goes up to here first. You lose 6% waiting, but you're also seeing this MACD cross back into the bull sign. Okay, and that's a more important indicator if you ask me. That lets me know that we're going to keep doing more than one green candle. We're going to do multiple of them, and I want to see that. I'm willing to give up a couple percent on the front end to make a lot of percent on the back end. We preach this to reduce our losses and also to reduce the amount of time we sit in these trades and wait. Because it turns out the longer we sit in these trades, the more other coins are moving like crazy and we're missing them because we're sitting in one just waiting and waiting and waiting. Another stream would have told you to sit in a coin called QKC for about 6 weeks and wait and wait and wait. You made some, you lost some, and then it was right back where you started. I was one of them, so I stopped. I've got back into it. I've got back out of it. I've taken some gains. I took like a 3% loss one time. And I think I had a 12% gain one time. 9% overall is 9% more than I had. Not going to whine about it. You can even see over here right now that it's down 1.4 something, 1.46. So Sideways still. We've got to get better at finding the spots to stay out and wait. And I think this is a point on this on XRP. We haven't broken this trend line, and I don't fully trust it to do it yet. We'll see. Fighting with R2 on our pivots. You see we touched R3 and immediately rejected. We've hit R2. We went under it, tested it, and now we're trying to get over it again. Well, that would be a good pivotal point for me if you ask me. If we can get over this R2 and stay, we're going to break this trend line. Hadn't happened yet, so we'll just keep riding it out. I also see a fallen wedge right here, and that's usually a sign. Fallen wedges are a bull sign. You see a fallen wedge, it tends to pop out of it. Let's give it a little bit of time and see what happens. That's XRP. Our risks are a lot, 20%. That you could be waiting if this thing breaks loose of this resistance line and goes to the next one. You could be at a loss of, from here to the next resistance line is 15%. That's why I would be watching this to break this little wedge here. If you only waited for it to break the wedge, that's just 5%. Turns out that wedge is the bottom of the 21 EMA. So if it breaks south of this 21 EMA on the daily and holds, that's a good time to pull whatever you got and wait. And then find a better spot to get in. Plus side here. Plus side is a good thing. Let's see the plus side. We'll switch to the weekly for a better view. On the weekly, you see we had a big, solid, monster Dirk Diggler size candle. And it immediately started retracing after that. It looks like it's throwing two dojis at the minute. Two doji candles at the top. That means there's some indecision going on. We're well over the 8 EMA. It's all the way back at 24.5 cents. I put on Twitter the other day that I thought you had a couple resistance lines that would hold its support, 26.8, which it has, touched it perfect, and then 24.5, roughly 24.5. Luckily, we're holding up 26.6, 26.5, so we'll give it a little time, see what happens. Downside is still minimal in my opinion. There's still lots of support. It is stuck under resistance here. You can see it, the 100 weekly. It's stuck under it. We'll give a little time to break loose. We can throw some other indicators on here real quick just to look. Oh, wrong button. And take this shit off. Look at the RSI just to be looking at it. Man. That would have told you that we were heading on north, wasn't it? Then yeet, dead sideways. We're still well over the 40 line. We're not even into the overbought territory yet. Let's put a little line down here to mark our spot. Right there. That's the action line on the RSI. We're still good there. Erase that shit. We know the MACD on the weekly hasn't even crossed into bull territory yet. It's still flirting with bull territory. It could still cross down and dump. We don't know this, so we're going to watch and see. I think we got good support here. I don't think that's going to happen, so we'll play it by ear. I got faith in it for the time being. Not hyped, not hopium. I just got some faith. Let's add in the stochastic RSI. And it's a bad sign. Well, it's not too bad yet. It is way up in the overbought territory. But we've seen the stock RSI ride sideways up here in overbought before. And there's nothing to tell me that that can't happen again. I don't have enough evidence yet. Okay? These tend to coincide with each other. The RSI and the stock RSI. They tend to run together. And as you see, they both look similar. If this RSI decides to come up, the stock RSI is going to ride the ceiling at 100 for a while. Once it rides the ceiling for a while and we see this RSI come up here, if this happens, that's our moment to cut it. When we get way up here with this, we'll have a moment where we can stop and take a break. We can get our profits and get ready to rebuy again at some point. We could do a couple more indicators, but I don't really think it's necessary. We see the point on XRP here. Price predictions. first price prediction we should say is this is not financial advice, people. It's your money. You spend your own damn money. If you want me to spend your money, just Cash App it to me. Or you can do something really cool and send it to me over XRP. And I got them. Look, they just opened a McLaren dealership in Charlotte, right over on South Boulevard. They got a badass lime green McLaren in there. It looks really good. If you want to shoot me some money, I'll go buy it. And I can spend your money for you. Okay? I'd rather do it that way than trying to invest it. Or you could just spend your own money. I mean, that's a better idea. Spend your own money. All right. Guys, if you don't have any audio or video, just jump out and jump back in. It'll start working. It happens sometimes that way on Discord. It gets a little glitchy. It's just part of Discord. Twitch is probably better. I don't have Twitch. I tried to use the game recorder on computer here. Didn't like that shit. So anyway, price predictions. I think sometime this year. This is a weekly chart. We're not even into September, November, or December or October yet. They're way over here. So reasonably speaking, 57 cents. A little hopium would be 75 cents. Can it go farther than that? Absolutely. Do I think it will? No. Prove it to me first. Prove me wrong. 2.5 years of down. You mean to tell me we're magically just going to go up? I don't think so. I don't buy it. So, until then, we're going to keep on keeping on with what we're doing. Up slowly and sideways. A little bit of down. Up slowly, sideways, a little bit of down. These are all resistance lines in here. It's got to break one by one by one. You see it's hitting them all. Okay? Expect it to continue. To the next coin. XLM. Alright, so this is the monthly chart. Obviously, there's a bigger fractal than this. But this is a tether chart. I like the tether charts because there's less wicks. We'll start on the weekly because I'm already here. I've already got a fib set pulled and some resistance lines up. Just simple ones, not all of them. There's more. But look, it's really similar to XRP, only XRP was down here in between the 786 and the one line. And XLM has made an aggressive move over top of that and is currently sitting on support. There's more support. It's got the 8 EMA, the 100 MA moving average, the 50 moving average, both the bottom of the bands. I can add in more, but it's got good support's the point. It's got the pivot line right here. A lot of stuff to stop XLM from dumping, in my opinion. Downside on XLM would be to the one line, 10%, to the pivot line, 16%. In the event of a dump, you might lose that much. Be prepared. It can happen. Indicators on the weekly. Well into bull territory. You've seen XRP was still down here. Didn't even cross over bullish yet. XLM has. It's well into bull territory. And we're letting it ride. RSI made a hard move up and it started to retrace over a little bit. I actually see something cool here. Looks like we got a little bit of a trend line going. Maybe. It's a little tougher on RSI to find these, but this shows me that we may move sideways or down a little bit longer and then go up. Or we could just go. RSI is not exactly a exact science when it comes to drawing trend lines, okay? It's just to give your eye a better view. Stochastic RSI, super high and starting to tip down. This can stay up here and float between the purple and back to 100, and the purple and back to 100. All this is, good bull stuff. That's good. We like this for the stochastic RSI to be up here and stay up here. What we don't want is these peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys. Now, it's good for people like me and some of the guys in the group who leverage trade because we can hit them each point. We can find the top and we can find the bottom. But I don't think right now is a good time to be buying XLM. I need to see this thing turn north first. I need this to turn north. The MACD, it's not bad. It's up there. It's kind of turning sideways. It's not pointing down yet, so it's not sell, but it's also not buy. Still over the 8 on the weekly. Now let's look at the daily. I think it's going to be a little different story on the daily. Yeah. Daily is a different story, all right? Now, the daily is where we do most of our selling and buying. It's less volatile. Psychologically speaking, it makes more sense to trade on the daily. What do we have here? Let's erase this line. We'll put our 40 line in here, our action line. All right, so we've hit it here, made an inverse head and shoulders and took off. Looks like we're working down towards the 40 line. Look how low the stochastic RSI is. Now this can come down here and ride the floor too, just like I did here. Look, this lasted for February 17th to March 1st, 2 weeks, or a week and a half. It stayed down here on the floor. It can do that again. Prepare for that. You can't necessarily say it's going to happen right now, but you can prepare for it. MACD. MACD does not look too great. That looks like it's crossed over into the red and it's coming on down. We still have good sell volume on XLM. This is still a good short. If you're in a short, I would continue to ride it out for a couple more days. You still got some line time down here to the 40. You still got some stochastic to go down. The MACD still going down. You're in between the R1 and the pivot. Looks like you're starting to lose support here. If you lose support, you're going down to the pivot line, which is also right near the one retracement line of 0.89, 0.9 cent. 0.9 will be a psychological level. So I would say currently, what am I doing? Oh, I'm in text. What am I in text for? There we go. Somewhere around in here is going to be a target. That's not a lot of downside, is it? So that's still about 10% max. 10% in the next few days if it goes down more. That's not a guarantee, but it's possible. Indicators still point down on the daily. They still point up-ish on the weekly. They're a little indecisive. We are under the 8. We are under the 21. I would not buy, and as a matter of fact, this is a sell signal. Like I said, if you're in a short, I would be riding it out and letting it see what happens. We could drop down to 4 hour, which I don't typically do. And look, we're underneath moving averages. Yeah, this is coming down to at least S1 right here, which is 0.92. Yeah, 8%. Prepare. VT. We start on the week and we work our way down. I do this with every single coin that we do. I'm going to try to do one of these market update videos every week. I also do the classes for the group. So can't do them constantly. And there's plenty of crap for you to look at on YouTube from other people who have absolutely no idea what they're doing. So feel free to fill your minds with their crap. Or you could watch this and focus and learn something and know that I'm not going to give you hopium. I'm going to tell you no bullshit, no filter when the chart's going up and down. And I don't see a whole lot of up right here at the moment. So tough titty if you don't like it. It's old Southern saying, tough titty. Y'all guys still got good audio and video in the group? Sweet. All right, good deal. All right. Today at lunch, I decided to actually watch a little bit of some streams. I'm banned from a few of them. But I talk with a couple people that work about crypto and charts and stuff and investing in general. Well, I found out that there's someone who doesn't do TA, technical analysis, which is trying to do technical analysis, and they only look at it from one direction. They only look at it going up. Up, up, always up. We're always going up. And I got bad news for you. Count this chart right now. Look how many red candles versus green candles there are. Pretty damn similar. That tells me it goes down just as much as it goes up. So, use your brains. Tough titty, hard to chew. That's right. All right, so on the weekly on VET, let me erase this blue fib I got set right here. All right, so looks like we broke 786, tested R1, didn't quite break it, and then pop, knocked right back up over it. Our next target would have been R3. Hit it, rejected, popped over it. Went all the way up here to the resistance line, which I think was all-time high. No, it wasn't all-time high. It's getting really close, though. Look at that. Right there's all-time high. It's almost there. Actually, it's probably not all-time high. I bet I can go to CoinTrader and find more. But this is pretty high, okay? So we're almost there. The good news is that we're over the one line. We're over R3. Now on the weekly, we did pull down, and we are hitting the pink line, which is resistance, and we are, settling down a little bit here. Our RSI is pointing down. Our stochastic RSI is pointing down, but we're still in the white, so it could still reverse. MACD is pretty damn high. Pretty damn high. We're not touching the 8 EMA yet. A lot of times we touch and then go up. So we may have some more sideways here on VET for the week. Weekly. Daily speaking, a little bit of the same. We're under the 8. We're in the weigh minute zone. Below the 8, above the 21 in that gap. Going to get pinched down here. We'll see what happens, whether it pops up or drops. There is support at the pivot line on the daily, which is 15.9, 16 flat. 16 flat is a decent target. MACD is rolling over and starting to cross over negative. RSI over 40, but pointing towards it. Stochastic doing the same thing. Looks like it's pointing down. What are the indicators we got? We could put the cloud on it. But I already have a cloud, and I'm pretty sure it's way over the cloud. So there's not even really use in looking at the cloud right now. It's way over it. Oh, let's do it anyway. The hell with it. Yeah, let's pull up the cloud. There we go. See what it looks like. Go to VET. We're still way over. That's not even the crypto cloud. This is the regular cloud. But we're way over. We have a little mini channel going here. It's like we hit the bottom of the channel. Looks like the conversion line is still over top of the baseline, and the price is still over the baseline. So this is still a daily cloud hold. However, we did hit the candles over here with the lag line, which would have been a sign to sell, right in here, and it went up. Cloud isn't 100% either, though. You see that, guys? Hasn't hit yet. We're still over. Cloud's the cloud is sideways on VET, essentially. All right. Go back to what we had. So that's VET. I think we're sideways for a bit. We have some upside. We have some downside. I think it's got to jog a little bit and let the bands catch up on the weekly because they're so wide. When the bands get really wide like that, they take a tendency to see how wide the bands are. Damn. They're going to have to catch up. They're already starting to turn in, but they're going to have to catch up. Could ride the 8. We'll see. Downside is not minimal, but not high. So I wouldn't consider a down on this a dump. I would say it's just retracing. And we'll play it by ear. ADA. That's 2 coins. ADA. So Cardano was an early performer. It was a 1 minute man. Same fib set as XLM. Did the same move. Still same way as XLM. We're over R3. We are over the 8. MACD looks fine on the weekly. Looks just like VET. It's damn near identical. I think Dre said that yesterday in the chat. Or maybe this morning. I don't know. Under the 8 on the daily. Look how tight the bands are. That's a good sign. We're pointing down on the MACD. We are pointing down on the stochastic. We are nearing the 40 line. Y'all, there's a possibility that we move down more. Right there's a 40. We can either go down here and hit this pivot. We can pop up like we did and get up over this 8 and 21 and get moving, or we're going to move sideways and dip and ride the 50 moving average, a daily 50. We'll see. I like how tight the bands are. That's a good sign. You see here, it's continued to make this similar move where it's got a heel, a heel, a heel, and go. A heel, a small heel, and go. A heel, a heel, a heel, and now it's done another one. So it kind of makes me think we're going south. Can't be sure. Can't be sure. We are pointing down on the MACD. That makes me think we're going to continue down. I don't have confirmation of that. I'd like to see this thing get over the 8 or get rejected. One of the two. I don't really want to get rejected because I own ADA. I'd like to see it go up and up and up and not stop. You said it yesterday, Dre. Okay. But again, sentiments are similar to similar sentiments as XLM. All right. Let's go to. That's all of them. That's VET, XLM, ADA, and XRP. All right, so that was all 4 of the Horseman coins. XRP is the only one out of those that hasn't done anything yet. So the other coins people wanted to see were Ethereum, which is up 7% today. It's very nice. Well over, measuring from the same point as the other coins. It's well over the 1 line. Well over R2. Looks like it's heading for R3. The MACD has crossed back from negative to positive. Nope, it hasn't. It hasn't. Excuse me. That's still a negative MACD. It hasn't crossed yet. Look, the RSI is pointing up, and the stochastic did floor the bottom. And it's trying to come back. That's a good sign. We'll see what happens. We'd like to see this cross the 40 and go. We'd like to see this stay above this purple zone and get moving. All right, so that's the daily on Ethereum. Well, we can continue along. Here's some more. Let's do a little bit more digging. Let's put a fib set on a lower time frame up top here and see how much more movement we got. See how much more. That's 4 day. I want 4 hour. There we go. Alright, so it's a similar fractal to the daily. Coins within coins, I'm fine with. I don't have a problem with that at all. Wrong thing. Bit of retracement from here to the bottom. Yeah, look, you hit 1618 perfect. Look at that. Right on the nose. 1618. Perfect move. Now it could keep going up here to the 2 line or R3, It could stop here. The stochastic got way up there. The RSI is starting to break into the white zone. I think there's more left. It might take a little bit. It may come down first and then go up. It did cross into bullish trading here on the MACD. Yep, it did cross. So I think we're going to continue moving up, whether it takes a day or 2 or 3. It's going to keep moving up, I think. On the 4 hour, that is. On the daily, it hasn't crossed over into positive yet, I think we mentioned. Yeah, MACD has not crossed over into positive yet. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit. Let's see how many frames we've skipped. It says it skipped none. Well, we'll see about that shit, won't we? The last one was super choppy. Alright, so Ethereum price points. Well, you see I've got this green box up here that I've had up here for a long time. I think it may take just a little bit to get up here, but this is where I would cut it if I was long, and I would short it down here. We'll see what happens. That's my buy zone, my sell zone. If this thing fails, let's go back to the 4 hour. That's 3 hour. Nobody ever looks at 3 hour except me. If we fail and get rejected, then we're looking at the 100, which is right near S1, or the 200, which is way down here at 312. I don't see that happening. So worst case scenario, I think we're 373, 377 in this range. This is a fail zone right here. The first one. Second one would be down here at S2. It is from the 1618 line down 11%. You can handle that, right? You can handle 11%, seeing as how we've seen 60% drops before. What's a few percent? That's which one's right? I'm confused. We said what price is that? The bottom or the top? The top is 477 on the weekly, and the bottom was 377. $100 difference. Damn. Whoo. 477, Dre. Now I can go past that, but looking at the weekly, it lined up. That's why I drew that box in there. Weekly speaking, it lined up. Yeah, it could go up here also, but we had this resistance line here at R3, and that made me think it'll pause there. I think we get up there in time, but it's not quite ready yet. I should hit the wrong button. Just not quite ready. I think we go here first. We got a really high MACD on the weekly. Stock's kind of high. Yeah, I think at that 477 is going to be a good stopping point. I know if you don't want to be greedy. You want to be greedy? 611. But that's pretty damn greedy. So I've been wrong before. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. All right, that's Ethereum. Let's find another one here. Straight from the group. Luna. Alright. Old Bitrix charts. I've got some old fibs I put in here. Look at that. I try not to erase stuff, so I got it for my own personal memory. Let's erase this small one right here. Oh, look at that. At some point, we hit this target damn near perfect. Almost hit that one. Didn't. We're sitting over the one line. MACD hasn't even crossed bullish yet. I think Luna's got some more to go. Stochastic starting to get ready to cross on the weekly. Yeah, I like Luna on the week. I like it. It's got room to go, I think. Now it's going to get hung up here, and it might pull way down once it comes up and goes down. But I think I like it on the week. On the daily, signs are a little worse. Well, you know what? Not that bad. MACD's pointing up. This could turn up. Stochastic didn't even make it to the white zone. Looks like we've got a little bit of a pennant drawing here. Might have a day or so left on that pennant before it moves. And if it does move, we're heading for those lines you see right there, 75 cents and $1.03. Those are your two targets. $1.03 if you're greedy, 75 cents if you're conservative. Percent gain is 36 to 75 cents and 95% to the 1618 line if you're greedy. Losses. 21 is down here, 23% potential loss. R1 is at 15% loss. So the downside is much smaller than the upside. Upside was 36 and 90. Downside is 15 to 25. You can do the math in your head on what you see the risk. Yes, Smithy. I've had this problem before on phones. Matt had the same problem earlier. He was trying to watch. Phone wouldn't work right. Oh, what's up, Josh? I just seen you were in here. If you click on the general over here, you can type while you're watching and ask any questions that you might have. Oh, you figured out you're typing. Look at this. People are smart, man. They don't need my damn help. People know what they're doing. All right. That's Luna. I like Luna. I like the upside over the downside. It's much higher. High upside. XTZ. Tezos. Where you at, Tezos? You kind of get a feel for how I do these indicators. I leave them up here, and I do the same thing for every coin. If I get intrigued, I'll go deeper and add more and more and more indicators until I convince myself that it's not going to be bad and it could be good. Because I always think worst case scenario. I've lost enough money in this game to think worst case scenario every time. XTZ got an ugly daily candle right now. Bitch, I'll kill you kind of candle. But it's okay because it's all the way above 1618, which is a hella good sign. Looks like we're in the all-time high territory. And as a matter of fact, all-time high is here. And look where it's hitting. Boy, if you're going to buy XTZ, now is the time. You just did an R3 daily touch. It's over all-time high, which was right at R3. That was also the 1618 line. Let me pull a better fib. This one looks ugly. Yeah, this one's ugly looking. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah. And let's just do weekly real quick and have a gander at that. If you're going to hold some Tezos, you better get it now. Don't say I didn't warn you. The upside is solid. Now, we've already hit these targets. 4, something or another. All right, okay. Goodness. Let's do weekly, and let's pull a new fib set here. Because this is going to be really nasty high. I've already got boxes up there that I drew at some point. Look at there. Okay, we want to get wild on XTZ. You want to have some imagination. In time, we're going to go to these numbers here. It's going to happen. Look at that. My goodness. We're at $3.92 now. We're almost going to go 100% higher than that and go to $7.12. The upside on XTZ. 71% and 131%. The downside on XTZ. 26%. Listen. Did you hear what I just said? The downside is 25%. The upside is 75% and 100 and 25%. What do you think you should do? I'm not going to tell you what to do, but what do you think you should do? The downside is 25. The upside is 75 and 125. You can count your own risk in your own head. Not a mathematician. Hail crypto. Are you on your phone, Hail? Sorry, my throat's. Let me give me a drink real quick. Take a short break. All right, you can't see video though, Tim. If you're on your phone, it doesn't always work right. It's better to use a laptop. Okay, on the phone, yeah. You using the app or you using the website? Like I was telling the other guys, Matt tried to use the app on the phone, and I think he tried to use the iPad. Didn't work right. The memory wasn't high enough on those devices to keep the stream running. So it's probably best to download the app on your laptop and watch it on your laptop. That way you can put on headphones and listen a little bit more sharp. But I'm glad you're here, Tim. At least you can hear me. At least you can hear me say 25% downside on Tezos, 75% upside on Tezos, and 125% upside on Tezos. Yes, at some point that will happen. I don't know when, but I'm telling you it's going to happen, okay? You guys don't know the private conversations I have with some of y'all guys. So I don't know when that's going to happen. It could take months. But I have a feeling the way these coins are moving, that ain't going to take as long as we think. It's already over all-time high. This thing could get rejected, okay? It's already starting to pull back some. But the 8 MA is right here. The 21's right here. The R3 is right here. That's 3 different support levels. Okay? It's got to break all those at one time. And I don't think it will. So, Tezos is not necessarily a daily buy. When it kind of is a daily buy. It's over R3. You can maybe wait a day or two if you'd like. Give it another day or two. But we just did a nice test. MACD's still okay. RSI is really high. Stock isn't ugly. So, I mean, it's still way up there, dude. But it's a good buy. Man, I want to leverage that. I want to leverage that. All right, Josh. Yeah. Laptop's the best way to go, Josh. But if you can hear me, at least you're hearing the signals that I'm giving instead of seeing them. But seeing them's a lot easier. So remember this for the next time. And you are over in the professor's class right over here, right, Josh? There's one thing to be in the general. You got to click on professor, and then you got screen sharing I think you can click on. Tim just jumped back in. Anyway, that's Tezos. I like it. Link, man, probably the best performer in the entire legacy coin market. It's been going ham. Goodness. Whew, I'm dying. There we go. Let's do weekly first. It's going to look good. And damn. Okay, so people like to ask me how high can these things go. Bro, Link ain't playing no games. We know Link kind of gets followed by Tezos sometimes too. My goodness. Hey, big girl, how you doing? RSI is so high. Folks, that's way up there. This is time to sell if you have Link. And I know you don't want to hear that. If you want to risk it, I understand. The stochastic got some room to go up if it would like. But if you have profits to take, man, I hate to tell you not to take them. And it could go farther. I'm more than willing to understand that it could go farther. But it did a perfect 2 on the weekly. A perfect 2. A perfect technical 2 on the weekly. Can it go farther? Let's look at monthly. Monthly's going to say, yeah, it can. Look at all these indicators. But yeah, let me delete this one. We'll do a new fib set on monthly. But it's going to be high. About the same. About the same. Doesn't matter. Yes, it can go to the 3 line. I think it needs to breathe at some point here, though. This thing hasn't breathed in a while. Not like a good breath. Like for 1 week, it did a tiny little down red candle. But that's it. Otherwise, it hasn't taken a breath, and the bands are wide. It's way past R3. It's off the 8. Could it go more? Yeah. So it's up to you on that. Take your profits if you like. If not, do your thing. All right. That's Tezos. We got a couple more here. We'll do Matic, and I'll probably do one more after that. That's not Matic. That's Myth. It's my throat itching. It's making me cough. It's not my chest. It's my throat. All right. Matic on the weekly. Been a funky coin, but she's making moves. Looks like we hit the 1 line and bounced off. Yep, we hit the 1 line and bounced off. Weekly has room to go up, though. So, you know what? Weekly has room for another green candle or 2. It did check off that 1 line. It could come down a little bit and float and ride the top of the bands. But I don't see a whole lot of down in the future here for the next couple weeks. Looks like we're coming up for the next couple weeks. If it's down, it's small, and I'll tell you that small would be 17% max fall and a max up of either 108% or 191%. Guys, gals, holy shit. That's a good gain, y'all. 99, man, I can't even remember that shit. It's so high. From here to the 1414 line is 110%. It may take to the rest of the year to get there, but it's 100%. All right, and then from here to the 1618 line, it's 200%. Oh my God! If you got 10 grand, you're guaranteed. You're not guaranteed. You're predicted to make 30 grand instead of 10 grand. That's Jay-Z money. Okay? That's pretty good gains. Agreed, Dre. All right. We'll go down to the daily on Matic real quick. Daily has room right off the bat. MACD pointing up. I like it. RSI pointing up. The stochastic is coming down, but it's still in the positive territory up here. So we're going to let it ride a little bit. Did we touch the 8? Did it touch? Yeah, man. Pretty much touched the 8 right here. And it's moved up since then. So we can either break R3 or get rejected and ride in between here and then go up, or it could just go on up. We have support at a pennant breakout here. We have support from the 50 and the 100 right next to each other. We have a resistance line in here and the 786 line. Risk is going to be minimal, 5%, 10%, 18%, as opposed to a potential gain of 12%, just back to the one line that's already hit, and again, 100%. So do the math. It's up to you. Can any of these reverse and go the other way? Yes, they can. I'll tell you if they are. I haven't seen that yet. Last one we'll do is Mithril. We just call it Myth. We used to have a pretty cool person in the group that used to be pretty cool with everybody, and he was big on this coin. I bought it, and I've sold it, and I've bought it, and I've sold it. But he isn't associated with us anymore, and that's on his own accord. So, hey, whatever. Everybody does their own thing. Now, we're over 786 on the daily. We're over the 8 on the daily, but we have a nice, ugly red candle screaming at us that we're coming down. We've started to roll over on the MACD, but we haven't crossed negative yet. RSI pointing down, stock pointing down. I would not buy just yet. There's a possibility this dips into the wait a minute zone. There's a possibility that it goes to the pivot line. I would wait out this couple percent here. It's 10% to the pivot. Yeah, I don't want to lose 10% right off the bat after buying. Past that to the 786 line, it's 22%. Okay, yeah, I'm going to wait this out a little bit. I think it's going to move sideways until these bands tighten, and then it goes somewhere. I'd give it a day or two on Myth. And that's on the daily. Now the weekly. Hasn't done much of anything bad at all. It did one ugly red candle, and now it's kind of formed a doji here. But we still got some 3 days left on this. 3 days left on this week. We're over the 50. We're over the 8, but we're floating. Haven't cut and touched it yet. We do not have pivot support. It's way up here at the 1618 line. That kind of lends me to believe we're going either to the 1618 line or the S1 line. Okay, we're going to go to one of them. And I would be more in time to think up here is where we're heading to. Based on the fact that other coins have done it, number one. Number two, based on the fact that the indicators are pointing up. The MACD hasn't even crossed into bullish yet. It's got tons of room to go. RSI is pointing up. Stochastic is riding sideways up into the buy zone. Downside is minimal. Again, we've already talked about the percentages. They're roughly the same on the weekly. 130% to 1414. 250% to the 1618 line, which is the pivot line also. The pivot and the 1618 line are almost exactly the same. I don't need to scream to you guys enough to tell you that's a good sign. First of all, I can't scream much because my voice is shot. So, promise you that's a good point. I promise you. Will it go there? In time. In time. This is a weekly chart. Each candle is a week. We have 16 or so weeks left in the year. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm optimistic. So that was 1 hour of shit. 1 hour of coin updates. You got my take on them. Us in the group are going to continue to hammer out charts one at a time until we come up with more answers on everything. There are some coins that are popping off like Data, making moves. I posted Ripio Credit Network earlier. Of course, I can't even find it right now. Yeah, Ripio Credit Network, 13%. Yeah, decent candle. Didn't break any barriers yet, but it was a decent candle. Storage, it's 23%, 28% today. Problem is it has low liquidity. It's kind of super shitty. It's kind of like a super shit coin. My damn cursor decides to click on the right thing here. Possibly that's me clicking on the wrong thing, but I blame it on the cursor. Yeah, there's still a ton of percent left on this coin too. It just has low liquidity and it's going to be hard to buy and sell. Whenever you want to sell it, there's going to be a hard time to find a buyer. I mean, it's the same as Matic, 100%, 190% to your lines. You're better off with Matic, has better liquidity. But storage does have good moves. You want to try it. I'm not going to tell you no. All right. Other than that, oh, SXP. You did ask me about that. Swipe, right? SXP. Yeah, you asked me about Swipe. Well, the weekly says it's going to the moon. One day. Yeah, man, it's already made a 1618 and a 2. The bands are getting wide. It could go farther, but it's already over R3. MACD's really high. RSI is turning. Stock is starting to ride the top. It could go a little more. It's hard to say. There was a pennant right here. You can kind of see it. You can see the pennant had formed. And here. Not a perfect one. I just kind of roughly clicked on it real quick and drew it. And it broke the pennant north. That's going to stop eventually. It's way away from the 8. So it may come down and check back on R3 again or ride sideways and then make a decision. Or it could go up more, but it's a tough call. That's a roll of the dice. All right, so an hour of coin and chart in general. Oh, Tesla. You asked me specifically about Tesla. Man, I'm an addict. All right, so when I get on these charts, I have a hard time stopping, okay? And I'll be the first one to admit I'm an addict. We'll just type in Tesla. How about that? I have it on my list over here. Whew. Goodness gracious, look at you. What's up, big girl? 1 week. My goodness. The technicals, though. Look at that. Would you just look at it? Would you just look at that right there? Would you just look at it? We're over the 8. We kissed the 8. We went to a perfect reversal up to a 1618. Perfectly. Dipped down and caught support. Now it looks to be trying to make another move. Hasn't made it yet. But it's trying. Go back to a daily. Girlfriend calling me. That tells me I need to get off of here. Let's look at this real quick here. We already did this. I'll erase it. Let's put one for the daily. Right here, from the top, down. We just got back over the 8. It could do another touch. I'd wait on it for just a bit, okay? R1 is right at 786. I would wait to buy until we get over 786. And once it's over, you have targets of 5%, 8%, 19%, and 38%. That may take a couple weeks to do. Not a bad buy, but I would wait until it breaks R1. You're only going to lose a couple percent waiting. Yeah, 4 or 5% waiting for it to break R1, which is a 786 line. Makes sense, Gumbus? Or whoever asked me about Tesla. I think it was you who asked me about Tesla. It looks up to me. Alright, so. Alright, guys. That's an hour. We'll get this shot up to YouTube soon. And we'll see you guys in the group. I hope anyone who might be watching this video who hasn't seen me do a video before, or maybe you just saw the XRP and the BTC videos, but this applies to everything that we do. If you'd like to learn more, just message me or comment in the YouTube video and I'll get back with you. We can talk about adding you to the Discord here and you can learn. Or if you don't want to learn, that's fine too. You can just watch other people and hope. But I don't like to hope. I like to know. I want to fill my head with knowledge. And I hope you want to fill your head with knowledge too one day. So anyway, you guys take it easy. We'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.